listening to Beyond the Whistle. Beyond the Whistle is the show that takes you beyond the X's and O's to provide tips and advice on the business of sports and how sports professionals can advance in their careers. Beyond the Whistle is brought to you by McCants Sports, a sports executive search and sports leadership consulting firm. Learn more at McCantsSports.com. Welcome to Beyond the Whistle. I'm your host, Odell McCants, and thank you for listening. On this episode, I'm doing something different. No interview this time. It's just me and you. This is the first of episodes I'm calling the McCants Minute. Okay, they're probably going to be longer than a minute. These will be episodes where I share with you my thoughts on current news and trends in sports careers and sports business. I want to share with you some of my experiences working in sports and provide advice that I hope can help you along your sports business and career journey. I will continue to provide interviews with sports industry leaders, and there are some great interviews coming up soon in upcoming episodes. So please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or whichever app you use to listen to the show. It's the best way to stay updated on new episodes. Now for the first McCants Minute. During the most recent coaching carousel of college basketball, I had the opportunity to work with a few coaches on their resumes. I want to share with you the single common mistake I see on the resumes of coaches. And if your resume has this same mistake, I'm going to share with you how you can fix your resume right now. The single common mistake I see, and this is common of all resumes in all professions and careers, not just coaches, is writing the resume as a job description. Your resume is not a job description. The person reading your resume knows what the duties and responsibilities are of a head coach, an assistant coach, a video coordinator, whatever your role is. The reader of your resume is looking for one thing. How can you add value to my program and make us better? Your resume has to answer that question. To answer that question, your resume must highlight quantifiable accomplishments and results of your past work. I think it's easy for coaches to make this mistake. Often, you as a coach, you're being considered for a position because if you're an assistant coach, the potentially new head coach knows you and your work or is close to someone who knows you and your work. However, remember this, the job of your resume is to represent you when you are not in the room. It is possible and quite likely someone will read your resume who does not know you. The hiring head coach may very likely need to present your resume to his or her athletic director. If you're applying for a head coach job, that hiring AD most likely will need to present your resume to his or her president and or a search committee. Remember that question they're looking to answer. How can you add value to my program and make us better? So how can you make your resume more quantifiable? Number one, include your team's win-loss record for each season. Don't be afraid of it. Your team's record was your team's record. Every coach has lost games. How many coaches or athletic directors have never been a part of a losing season? The information is easy to find and is going to be found and addressed at some point, so put it out there. It reads like this: 2016-2017, team record 17-15, fifth in ABC Conference, advanced to semifinals of ABC Conference Tournament. Number two, highlight your team's accomplishments for each season. You and I know there's more to a season than just win-loss record. Where did your team rank in your conference or league in rebounding that season? How was that an improvement from the previous season? And what role did you play in that improvement? A quantifiable resume will read like this: responsible for coaching post players, my introduction of 2 daily rebounding practice drills resulted in our team being ranked second in the conference in rebounding with 100 team rebounds, an increase of 5% from the previous season. It's just an example, of course. This is a quantifiable statement, not just stating coach the post players. Number three, highlight the accomplishments of your players for each season. I know how proud you are as a coach of the individual accomplishments of your players. Few professions outside of coaching provide the joy and pleasure of watching the growth and development of someone else. The accomplishments of your players is a testament to your dedication, professionalism, and work, so highlight it. It reads like this: Mike Smith, first team all-conference. Sarah Miller, conference defensive player of the year. Stephanie Davis, led conference in rebounding. David Johnson, led conference in assists, 4th in the nation in assists. You get my point here. As a coach, these are results of your work. For the reader of your resume, Perhaps I'm a head coach or an AD and my program has never had a Defensive Player of the Year. Think that's important to me? You are now showing how you can add value and make our program better. Number 4, list your personal accomplishments for each season. If you are an assistant coach and you recruit a particular geographic region, don't just state it in the resume. To say recruits the Chicago area is a job description. How can you make this quantifiable? It reads like this. Recruiting relationships and activities in the Chicago area resulted in the signing of 7 players in the past 3 years from the area, including 1 Chicago Sun-Times High School Player of the Year and 2 consecutive State of Illinois Players of the Year. Now, this is just an example, and I know we'd all love players like this. Perhaps your recruits were all conference players, all district. The point here is to show the type of players you have recruited in a particular geographic region. These are just a few ways you can improve your coaching resume. For a list of these and others, go to McCantsSports.com/resume, where you can download a PDF version. There's also a link in the show notes found here in your podcast player app. It's not easy to turn your resume into a quantifiable resume. If you're already doing this, I commend you. If not, take some time to journal the results of your seasons and your individual accomplishments and success. Your resume is a living document. It needs to evolve each year. Working in sports, we are in the greatest results-based profession in industry there is. Remember to answer this question. How do you add value to a program and make it better? Also, I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you have other ideas? What has worked well for you and what kind of feedback have you received on your resume? You can share those with me on Twitter @OdellMcCants. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to Beyond the Whistle on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Subscribing is the best way to stay updated on new episodes. Let's also connect on Twitter where you can again find me at Odell McCants. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Whistle.